This is chapter 19 of Prodigy. June. Midas had always told me that whenever I do get sick, I pull out all the stops. I know it's a cold, but I can't tell what the temperature is. I know it's night, but I can't tell what time it is. I know Day and I have somehow made it across the border and into the colonies, but I'm too tired to figure out which of their states we crossed into. Day's arm is wrapped tightly around my waist, supporting me, even though I can feel him shaking from the effort of carrying me for so long. He whispers encouragingly to me, urging me on. Just a little longer, he says. There must be hospitals this close to the war front. My legs are trembling from the effort of keeping me up, but I refuse to faint now. We crunch through light snow, our eyes fixed on the sparkling city before us. The buildings range between 5 stories and hundreds of stories tall, some of them disappearing into low clouds. The sight is familiar in some ways and entirely new in others. The walls are lined with foreign flags shaped like swallowtails. My God. Curved navy blue and gold, the buildings have archway designs carved into their sides, and fighter jets line each rooftop. They're distinctly different models from the ones in the Republic, with a strange reverse-swept wing structure that makes them trident-like in appearance. The jet's wings are all painted with ferocious gold birds, as well as a symbol I don't recognize. No wonder I always heard that the colonies had a better air force than the Republic. Geez, these jets are newer than the others that I'm used to, considering their rooftop placements must all be able to perform vertical takeoffs and landings effortlessly. This warfront city seems more than prepared to defend itself. And the people. They're everywhere. Both soldiers and civilians crowding the streets, huddled under hooded coats to shield themselves from the snow. As they pass under the neon glow of lights, their faces are tinted shades of green, orange, and purple. I'm too exhausted to do a proper analysis of them, but the one thing I notice is that all of their clothes, boots, pants, shirts, coats, have a variety of emblems and words on them. I'm shocked by the sheer number of ads on the walls. They stretch on as far as the eye can see, sometimes bunched so closely together that they completely hide the walls beneath them. They seem to be advertising anything and everything under the sun, things I've never seen or heard of before. Course-sponsored schools? Christmas? We pass one window where a bunch of miniature screens are displayed, each broadcasting news and videos. Sale, the window display reads, 30% off until Monday. Some channels broadcasting programs are familiar. Headlines from the warfront, political conferences. Deskin Corps scores another victory for colonies on Dakota-Minnesota border. Republic Rumble available for purchase as souvenirs. Others broadcast movies, something the Republic only shows in rich sector theaters. Most screens are showing commercials. Unlike the Republic's propaganda commercials, it's as if these ads were trying to persuade their population to buy things. I wonder what kind of government runs a place like this. Maybe they don't have a government at all. My father once told me that the colonies' cities are like glitter from far away, Day says. His eyes skip from one brightly colored ad to the next as he helps me through the shuffle of people. It's exactly like you described, but I can't figure out all these ads. Aren't they strange? I nod back, and the Republic ads have organized displays with a consistent, distinct government style that remains the same no matter where in the country you are. Here, the ads don't follow any sort of color theory. They're jumbled, a mismatch of neon and flashing lights, as if they weren't made by any sort of central government, but by a number of smaller independent groups. One ad shows a video of a smiling officer in a uniform. The voiceover says, "Tribune Police Department. Need to report a crime? Only 500 note deposit needed." Underneath the officer in small print are the words, "Tribune Police Department is a subsidiary of Deskin Corps." Another ad says, "Next nationwide EHL check sponsored by Cloud, January 27th. Need some help to pass? New Meditech joints pills now available at all stores." Below this, another small asterisk is followed by the text EHL, Employer Happiness Level. A third ad actually makes me do a double take. It shows a video of rows of young children all dressed in the exact same clothes, smiling the biggest smiles I've ever seen. When the text comes up, it reads, "Find your perfect son, daughter, or employee. Swap Shop franchise stores are a subsidiary of Evergreen ENT." I frown, puzzled. Maybe this is how the colonies run orphanages or the like, isn't it? As we move along, I notice that there's one changing image in the bottom right-hand corner of each ad. It's a giant symbol of a circle split into 4 quadrants with a smaller symbol inside each of the quadrants. Underneath it in block letters is the following: "The Colonies of America, Cloud, Meditech, Descon, Evergreen. A free state is a corporate state." Abruptly, I feel Day's breath warm against my ear. "June," he whispers. "What is it?" "Someone's following us." Another detail I should have noticed first. I've lost count of the number of things I'm failing to catch. "Can you see his face?" "No, but judging from the figure, it's a girl," he replies. I wait for a few more seconds, then chance a look back. Nothing but a sea of colonians. Whoever it is, she's already disappeared into the crowds. "Probably just a false alarm," I mutter. "Some colonies, girl." Day's eyes sweep the street, perplexed. Then he shrugs it off. I wouldn't be surprised if we were starting to see things, especially amongst all these strange new glittering lights and fluorescent ads. A person approaches us right as we turn our attention back to the street. 5'7", droopy cheeks, tannish pink skin, a few strands of black hair peeking out from a heavy snow cap, a flat tablet in her hand. She has a scarf wrapped tightly around her neck, synthetic wool judging from the uniform texture, and little ice crystals cling to the fabric under her chin where her breath has frozen on it. Her sleeves have the words "Street Proctor" sewn on right above another strange symbol. "You're not showing up, Core," she mutters to us. Her eyes stay fixed on the tablet, which has a map-like image and moving bubbles on it. Each bubble seems to correspond to a person on the street. She must mean we're not showing up on there. Then I realize that there are many people like her dotting the street, all wearing the same dark blue coat. "Core," she repeats impatiently. Day's about to reply when I stop him. "Meditech," I blurt out, remembering the 4 names from the ads we've seen. The woman pauses to give our outfits, dirty collar shirts, black trousers, and boots, a disapproving once-over. "You must be new," she adds to herself, tapping something out on her tablet. "You're a long way from where you're supposed to be then. Don't know if you've had your orientations yet, but Meditech will dock you hard if you're late." Then she gives us a fake smile and launches into an oddly perky routine. "I'm sponsored by Cloud Core. Stop in Tribune Central Square to buy our newest line of bread." Her mouth snaps back into the sullen line it was in before, and she hurries away. I watch as she stops a person farther down the street, launching into the same performance. There's something off about this city," I whisper to Day as we struggle on. Day's grip on me is tight and tense. "That's why I didn't ask her where the closest hospital was," he replies. Another wave of dizziness hits me. "Hang in there, we'll figure something out." I try to respond, but now I can barely see where I'm going. Day says something to me, but I can't understand a word. It sounds like he's underwater. What did you say?" The world is spinning now, my knees buckle. "I said maybe we stop one hospital." I feel myself falling, and my arms and legs are coming up around me in a protective ball, and somewhere overhead Day's beautiful blue eyes hold me, and he puts his hands on my shoulder, but it feels like he's a million miles away. I try to speak, but my mouth feels like it's full of sand. I sink into darkness. A flash of gold and gray, someone's cool hand against my forehead. I reach up to touch it, but the instant my fingers brush against the skin, the hand melts away. I can't stop shivering. It's unimaginably cold here. When I finally manage to open my eyes, I find myself lying on a simple white cot with my head in Day's lap, and Day has one of his arms draped around my waist. A moment later, I realize that he's watching another person, another 3 people standing in the room with us. They're wearing the distinctive uniforms of warfront colonies soldiers, Navy military peacoats studded with gold buttons and epaulets, with gold and white stripes running along the bottom edge and that signature gold falcon embroidered on each sleeve. I shake my head. A pretty generic breakdown. I'm so slow right now. "Through the tunnels," Day says. Lights on the ceiling blind me. I hadn't noticed them there earlier. "How long have you been in the colonies?" one of the other men asks. His accent sounds strange. He has a pale mustache and limp, greasy hair, and the lighting gives him a sickly complexion. "Better to be honest, boy. Descon doesn't tolerate liars." We just got here tonight, Day replies. And where did you come from? Do you work for the Patriots? Even in my haze, I know this is a dangerous question. They're not going to be happy if they find out we're the ones who botched their plans for the elector. Maybe they don't even know what happened yet. Razor did say that they update the colonies only sporadically. Dave realizes the question's danger, too, because he evades it. We came here alone. He pauses, and then I hear him speak with a hint of impatience. Please, she's burning up with fever. Take us to the hospital, and I'll tell you anything you want. I didn't come all this way to see her die in a police station. Hospital is going to cost you, son, the man answers. Dave pats one of my pockets and digs out our little wad of notes. I notice that his gun is now gone, probably confiscated. We have 4,000 Republic. The soldiers cut him off with snickers. Boy, 4,000 Republic's notes won't buy you a bowl of soup, one of them says. Besides, you're going to wait here until our commander shows up. Then you'll be sent to our POW compound for standard interrogation. POW compound. For some reason, this triggers the memory of when Midas took me on a mission over a year ago, when we tracked that colony's prisoner of war deep through the Republic states and killed him in a Yellowstone city. I remember the blood on the ground soaking the soldier's Navy uniform. A moment of panic seizes me and I reach up to grab Day's collar. The other men in the room make a startled noise. I hear several metallic clacks. Day's arm tightens protectively around me. Easy there, he whispers. What's the girl's name? Day turns back to the men. Sarah, he lies. She's not a threat, she's just really sick. The men say something that makes Day angry, but my world is becoming a wild chaos of colors again, and I sink back into a delirious half-sleep. I hear loud voices, then the swinging sound of a heavy door, and then nothing for a long time. Sometimes I think I see Midas standing in the corner of the barrack watching me. Other times he changes into Thomas, and I can't decide if I should feel anger or relief at the sight of him. Sometimes I recognize Day's hand against mine. He tells me to relax, that everything will be okay. The visions disappear. After what seems like hours, I start to hear faint, broken snippets of conversation again. From the Republic? Yes. Your Day? That's me. Some shuffling sounds, then expressions of incredulity. No, I recognize him, someone keeps saying. I recognize him, he's the one. More shuffling. Then I feel Day rise and I collapse alone onto the cold sheets of the cot beneath me. They've taken him somewhere. They've taken him away. I want to cling to this thought, but my feverish delirium takes over and I drift back to black. I'm in my Ruby Sector apartment, my head on a pillow damp with sweat, my body covered by a thin blanket and bathed in golden light from the afternoon sun flittering in through our windows. Ollie sleeps nearby, his enormous puppy paws resting lazily on the cool marble tiles. I realize that this doesn't make any sense because I'm almost 16, and Ollie should be 9 years old. I must be dreaming. A wet towel touches my face. I look up to see Midas sitting beside me, carefully placing the towel so water doesn't drip in my eyes. Hey, Junebug, he says with a smile. Aren't you going to be late for something? I whisper. There's a nagging feeling in my stomach that Midas isn't supposed to be here, like he's late for something. But my brother just shakes his head, making several chunks of dark hair fall across his face. The sun lights up his eyes with glints of gold. Well, I can't just leave you alone here, can I? He laughs and the sound fills me with so much happiness that I think I might burst. Face it, you're stuck with me. Now eat your soup. I don't care how gross you think it is. I take a sip. I swear I can almost taste it. Are you really going to stay here with me? Midas bends down and kisses my forehead. Forever and ever, kid, until you're sick and tired of seeing me. I smile. You're always taking care of me. When will you have time for Thomas? Midas hesitates at my words and then chuckles. I can't keep anything secret with you here, can I? You could have told me about you guys, you know. The words are painful for me to say, but I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like I'm forgetting something important. I wouldn't have told anyone. Were you just worried Commander Jameson would find out and split you and Thomas into different patrols? Midas lowers his head and his shoulders fall. I never really had a reason to bring it up. Do you love him? I remember that I'm dreaming, and whatever Midas might say is simply my own thoughts projected into his image. Still, Ow! No biting! Sorry, she's just a jerk. My own thoughts projected into his image. Still, I ache when he looks down and answers with a slight nod of his head. I thought I did, he replies. I can barely hear him. I'm so sorry, I whisper. He meets my gaze with eyes full of tears. I try to reach up and wrap my arms around his neck. But then the scene shifts, the light fades, and suddenly I'm lying in a dim, whitewashed room on a bed that isn't my own. Midas disappears into wisps. Caring for me in this place is Day, his face framed by hair the color of light, his hands readjusting the towel on my forehead, his eyes studying mine intensely. Hey, Sarah, he says. He's using the fake name he made up for me. Don't worry, you're safe. I blink at the sudden change in scene. Safe? Colonies police picked us up. They took us to a small hospital after they found out who I am. I guess they've all heard about me over here, and it's working out to our benefit. Day gives me a sheepish grin. But this time I'm so disappointed to see Day, so bitterly sad that I've lost Midas to the shallows of my dream again, that I have to bite my lip to keep myself from crying. My arms feel so weak. I probably couldn't have wrapped them around my brother's neck anyway, and because I didn't, I couldn't keep Midas from floating away. Day's grin fades. He senses my grief. He reaches over and touches my cheek with one hand. His face is so close, radiant in the soft evening glow. I lift myself up with what little strength I have and let him pull me close. Oh, Day, I whisper into his hair, my voice breaking with all the sobs I've been holding back. I really miss him. I miss him so much, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I repeat it over and over again, the words I said to Midas in my dream and the words I will say today for the rest of my life. Day tightens his embrace. His hand brushes through my hair and he rocks me gently like I'm a child. I cling to him for dear life, unable to catch my breath, drowning in my fever and sorrow and emptiness. Midas is gone again. He is always gone.